So I just read The White Book by Han Kang. This is my third Han Kang novel. I read Greek Lessons first, then The Vegetarian, and then The White Book. And I kind of think I like this one the best. Maybe still Greek Lessons, but they're still very much not for me. I've figured it out after 3 books that she's not the author for me. Her writing is very beautiful, but I don't understand it enough. It's not literal enough for me personally. This one is super short. I literally sat down and read it in one sitting. It's almost like a collection of poetry. It's written in prose, but it's very poetic prose. And it's a series of chapters that are very loosely sort of linked in terms of theme, but there's no sort of overarching plot, at least not a very explicit one. So each of the chapters is about something white. For example, the Milky Way, or a lace curtain, or snowflakes, or a white city. I'm just flipping through it and calling out chapter names. A newborn gown. And using a chapter titled after a white thing, the author then writes a couple paragraphs, or even less than that, describing that white thing in the context of this sort of story. Now, the story seems to be about this woman sort of mourning or lamenting or reflecting on the loss of an older sibling, but an older sibling that had died soon after being born. So there's the mother who had to give birth in her kitchen alone, and she did her best to try and wish that the baby would survive, but the baby passed away after a few hours. And this sort of narrator or main character, whatever, is the younger sibling, so a child born after the mother experienced this sort of loss of life. And so it's sort of a reflection on what could have been, on losing someone that you're so closely connected to but you have never met and never will meet. And so there's that distance and closeness. But yeah, it's very sort of dreamy, cerebral, surreal. I don't know how to describe it. It's split into 3 sections. The first section is written in the first person, the second section in the third person, and the final section again in the first person. So the first and last sections are this character talking about themselves and their perspective on this thing, and then the second section, I guess, is kind of like an imagining of what their sibling could have experienced or could have lived through. I don't really know what else to say about it other than to give maybe some excerpts, so I just randomly picked a page here. This is an entire chapter. It's titled Island of Light. The moment she went up on stage, the ceiling spotlight flicked on, its strong beam picking her out. At that, all space that was not the stage became a sea of black. That an audience was sitting there seemed wholly unreal, and she was thrown into confusion. Do I go down into that ocean floor, step by faltering step, or stand my ground here in this island of light? Or here's another one from the first-person perspective. Certain objects in the darkness. Certain objects appear white in the darkness. When darkness is imbued with even the faintest light, even things that would not otherwise be white glow with a hazy pallor. At night, I make up the sofa bed in the corner of the living room and lie down in that wan light. Instead of trying to sleep, I wait, feel my senses attuned to the passage of time. The trees outside the window cast silhouettes on the white plaster wall. I think about the person who resembles this city, pondering the cast of their face, waiting for its contours to coalesce, to be able to read the expression it holds. So it's that sort of thing where it feels like there's a lot in it, and it does evoke emotions and feelings, and it is cozy and nice to read, but I think you really got to work at it unless you're super smart or just average smart. But for me, it is a bit of a challenge. I just sort of, like I said, I sat down and read the whole thing in one go, and maybe that's not how you're supposed to do it. Maybe it's supposed to be like a chapter a day at a time sort of thing. But I did enjoy it. I do think it's well written. The prose is very beautiful. And it is, of course, in translation. So maybe in the original Korean it has more meaning. But that's just about all I can say about The White Book by Han Kang.